Have you ever wondered why the news plays the same 5 stories again and again? Let me give you a little hint. Brainwashing and repetition is the most basic form of brainwashing. Join me as we look at the news cycle and talk about why the mainstream media is so gutless and afraid to report the truth. What's up? Happy Friday. Welcome to Troubled Minds News. I'm your host, Michael Strange, and this is the show where the conspiracy is the news. You know what that means? That means a lot of things. It means propaganda. It means misinformation. It means disinformation. It means the ministry of truth, and of course, the way that the powers that be want to take control of the narrative in so many ways. Because, of course, right, if they control your brain, then you don't, and they win. It's a simple formula, and that's what this is all about. And that's why we talk about this sort of in this quick hit format, because there's lots of news to really cover, and we do 4 Troubled Minds radio shows a week, and kind of topical type stuff. But it's usually based on news stories, right? New sort of a new idea in the news cycle or whatever, and then we try and extrapolate that and have like a larger conversation regarding it. But without doing 25 shows a week or something, there's a lot of news that sort of goes by that we just miss. So in the old days, we used to do a actual news segment on Troubled Minds Radio, which of course goes Monday through Thursday at 7 p.m. Pacific, but it just got longer and longer, too much news. So we peeled that off, turned it into its own show right here, and we've got Troubled Minds News, and that's what's going on. That's the deal, and it's basically just like the other show. We take calls if you want to take calls. We just don't have time to. I usually let people. I've got a timer, by the way, regarding calls, and it's a like if you got stuff to say, I'll give you approximately 10 minutes. Right? It's always like a rough guideline. If you're on fire, you're not done or whatever, you get longer than that. But for the most part, it's I kind of keep a timer to about 10 minutes, and I think that's as fair as possible because we got people waiting and all the rest of that. But anyway, this show we don't have all that amount of time, so if you call in, it's going to be a little bit shorter format. But you're welcome to call in the name of transparency and all the rest of that. As you know, I share all my links of all the things I'm talking about, so you see that I'm not just flat out making shit up because, well, I don't like to do that. Unless it's speculation, then I'll tell you it's speculation. But anyway, if you want to be a part of the show, 702-957-1037. That's 702-957-1037. You can click the Discord link at troubledminds.org. Put you on the show that way as well. We've got a Discord that you can pop in and say hi and all the rest of this, and we'll do the thing. And it's simple as that. All right, let's do it. Let's get to the damn news, shall we? Let's get to the news. Let's see. Where do we begin? So much. There's so much today. It's pretty crazy. I was looking at the news cycles and I'm like, damn, lots of good news going on. All right, let's start here. Let's begin with this. This is from Scientific American. Yeah. Remember when we talked about robots and whatnot? Well, this isn't exactly the Terminator just yet, but record-breaking jumping robot can leap a 10-story building. Now, does that sound like Superman? What do they say about the Man of Steel? Can leap a 10-story building? Or was that... I thought that was him, right? Anyway, to propel itself higher than any known engineered jumper or animal can, it had to ignore the limits of biology. Oh, all right. Well, I mean, it is a robot after all. So here you go. The gravity-defying performance is several heads and shoulders above the distance any living creature can reach. Quote, the best animal jumper is likely a squirrel-sized primate called the Galago, which has been measured jumping around 2.3 meters high from a standstill, says Elliot W. Hawks, a mechanical engineer at UC Santa Barbara, and lead author of a study detailing the Super Jumper project. He adds that the device also stands out in the mechanical field, where combustion has previously launched jumpers to heights of 8 meters, and compressed gas has driven them to reach 10 meters. This one, in this case, let's see, their 30 centimeter tall jumper can spring more than 30 meters into the air, roughly the elevation of a 10-story building and 100 times its own weight. And there's what this thing looks like. It's not very impressive looking, but if something can, a man of steel leap a 10-story building, then suddenly these Terminator robots that Elon Musk is building, maybe they're able to do this type of thing. Interesting. Yeah, what happens when it lands on someone? That's a good point, James. What's up, guys? I see you in the chat. How's everybody doing? So here you go. So we got the illustration here. You can see this thing jumping super high. The team designing the new leaper relied on elastic power. In this kind of jumping system, a part called an actuator moves and stores energy in a spring, which is released by a latch to propel an object into the air. This basic mechanism is similar to the one members of the animal kingdom use. For instance, a grasshopper's leg muscle serves as an actuator. When it contracts, it bends back a spring-like part of its knee joint to create tension, which is released to propel the insect's jumps. But for the new project, human engineering introduced some crucial innovations. For any elastic-based jumper, attainable height is determined by the amount of energy this spring can store, and in turn depends on two factors. The first is how much work an actuator can provide. In animals, muscles have only one contraction with which they can stretch their spring. But for the actuator in the new mechanical jumper, the engineers used a motor which could turn multiple times before each jump and thus keep storing more energy. There you go. Leap a 10-story building in a single bound. Isn't that the Superman? Yeah, well, Robert, and I might ask, how would this be useful? Well, if you rob a bank and you want to get away super fast, I think this would be super useful. But assuming you could attach yourself to it and spring a 10-story building. But in any case, the Scientific American. There you go. That's how we start. You want to be part of the show? Comments on this or anything else? 702-957-1037. There you go. All right, let's go to cnbc.com. And there we go. What's up, Clear Shallow? The concept could potentially, I can't read it, potentially be used in useful in low gravity. That would be more than 10 stories, wouldn't it? Yeah. James says definitely not military. No, they'd never. Yeah, exactly right. Here you go. Here's that link to that Scientific American article if you want to check that out and read the whole article yourself. All right, let's go to this. Let's go to let's see, CNBC. You want to get me pissed off? Well, congratulations. Happy Friday. I'm pissed off. Powerball's $473.1 million jackpot has a winner. And, well, here's the tax bill. You want to know how much money they're going to take out of this? Okay, before we even talk about that, let's consider this, all right? Let's consider this notion that the lotto, right, is already used with taxed money. So if you go buy a ticket with $1 or whatever they cost now, I don't even know what they cost because I haven't bought one of these in 20 years or whatever, 15 years even. But let's say you spend $1. That dollar has already been taxed, all right? It's going to be like taxed from payroll, taxed from wherever the hell you got it, right? Unless you're, dodging taxes, right? Completely different story. But the dollar's already been taxed, okay? $2. Thanks. Appreciate that, Robert. So $2. The $2 has already been taxed from wherever you got it from, okay? Then you put it into this pool, right? This Powerball pool, and $473.1 million, and somebody in Arizona wins it. And check this out. You'll never believe this. A single lottery ticket sold in Arizona is about to change someone's life after the IRS takes a piece of the windfall, of course. Taxes and healthcare, don't get me started. Listen to this. This is insane. And this is why taxes are basically bordering on criminal. This is ridiculous, okay? Think about this. The sheer percentage, right? When percentages scale, the amount of money the IRS takes from you is disgusting. Here we go. Wednesday night's Powerball drawing resulted in one ticket matching all 6 numbers drawn to land the $473.1 million jackpot. The amount was higher than originally anticipated due to strong ticket sales, of course. The advertised figure isn't what the winner will end up with. Whether the prize is taken as an annuity of 30 payments over 29 years or as an immediate reduced cash amount, taxes end up consuming a sizable bite out of the winnings. Oh, yeah, wouldn't you know? For this jackpot, a required federal tax withholding of 24% would reduce the $283.3 million cash option, which most jackpot winners choose, by about $68 million. Okay, so it's again $473.1 million. That's if you take the 30-year annuity. Okay, you get the full amount, but there's a risk involved because for whatever reason, maybe you don't live 30 years, maybe the state goes bankrupt and they don't have the money to pay you, whatever. So they take the lump payment, which is $283.3 million. Which again is way less than the 473 already. Okay, so we're talking what 283, 383. We're already talking like $150 million. All right, okay, by taking the lump cash sum. So where's the other $150 million go? I want to know. All right, so I'm not a mathematician or an accountant or anything like that, but just think. Where does the extra money go? If it's a $473.1 million jackpot, but they only will pay out $283.3, there's $150 missing right off the bat. $150 million missing right off the bat. All right? Right off the bat. Okay, fine. Then, for this jackpot, a required federal tax withholding of 24%. 24%, all right? So that would be $68 million. So, okay, if they take the lump sum, you're already down $150. At 24%, that's another $68 million, right? So that's already $230 million, $220 million missing, right, out of this jackpot because of shenanigans and taxes. But then we're talking 24% tax rate. And there's no way at that level of money that you're going to have write-offs to be able to offset that kind of money. So they're going to take way higher than 24% tax rate. So we're already missing $220 million, all right, in taxes and fees. And then here we go. However, the top federal rate is 37%. So more generally would be due at tax time. For illustration purposes, if the winner had no reduction in income, which again, you can't with that much money, how the hell are you going to be? Before you earned it, how are you going to be spending like millions in write-offs and all kinds of shit? You can't unless you're already rich, right? There's no fucking way. Anyway, so if the winner had no reduction in income, for example, significant charitable contributions, which again, back to the whole other thing, another 13% or $36.8 million would be due to the IRS, or $104.8 million in all. All right, and don't forget that's $104 million at about 37%, and then don't forget the $150 million that's just missing off the top. Where did that money go? So now we're talking $250 million gone from a $473.1 million jackpot, okay? Now, granted, they're two different things, but a tax rate of $100 million or more on this is absurd. It's absurd. And then on top of that, again, the 150 they just take for, where does that money go? So is it 473.1 or is it not? Right? So it's like it is if you give them 30 years to pay you. But if it's not, well, they just take 150 off the top, right? I mean, is that not another tax? That sounds like another tax to me. And don't forget, all of this is pre-taxed, already taxed money that they used to pay. I mean, if this isn't just a huge tax scheme for this state, I don't know what is. This is absurd. That's a lot of money that just goes to nothing. Literally nothing, because they can just eat it up and start it over and all the rest of this. Here you go. Oh, not even talking. There will also be Arizona state taxes imposed, of course. The top effective tax rate is 2.98% for the year 2022, which if applied to the lump sum would be another $8.4 million going to the state. There you go, right? So you tell me, just think about the pure mathematics of this. It seems absurd. It seems beyond absurd. It's like, okay, yeah, this is fine. Let's just take taxed money, do the Powerball, tax the shit out of that, and then who wins? The House always wins. All right, one person, and again, look, so you still have $200 million, right, post tax or something, right, something to that effect. But if you won this, but still. Right? Nobody's going to say, no thanks on the 200 mil. I don't want to pay taxes. Of course you're going to take it. But think about how much of that money literally just goes to waste. Goes to the state, right? Goes to the federal government and the state. And then what? Right? It's absurd. It's absurd. So there you go. Taxes and healthcare. You want to piss me off? Just piss myself off. 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link, troubledminds.org. Let's go to, check this out. You'll never believe this. Canada. Now, this is from Gizmodo. Canada now willing to punish crimes committed on the moon. Ha, nice. Thanks to Canadian legislators, outer space is now less lawless than it used to be. Hey, now here's nothing like looking to the future, right? It's like maybe they're going to implement like a moon tax. Let's just implement a moon tax while we're at it, right? Instead of the problems we have here on Earth, let's just start looking at, well, what's going to happen on the moon. There you go. More than 50 years ago, Apollo astronauts left 96 bags of their own waste on the surface of the moon. But they didn't exactly fear getting hit with a fine for littering, as space, the moon included, has been largely a lawless region. Canadian lawmakers are hoping to change that. Oh, yeah. What's up, Clearest Cello? I see you there. Thanks for stopping by. Canada amended its criminal code on Thursday to allow for the prosecution of crimes committed by Canadian astronauts during trips to the moon or on the lunar surface itself. Foreign astronauts who threaten the life or security of a Canadian astronaut can also be punished by Canadian law, according to broadcaster CBC. Canada's criminal code had already included crimes committable by its astronauts aboard the ISS as punishable by law. But the recent amendment now accounts for the Canadian Space Agency's participation in the upcoming Artemis program, through which NASA intends on sending people back to the moon's surface later this decade and possibly as early as 2025. All right. So anyway, blah, blah, blah. There you go. Not really dealing with the broken bullshit here on Earth. We're going to just start creating laws for the moon, right? Yeah, moon pirates. Yeah, exactly. What the hell's going on here? This is so stupid. Okay, fine. But why don't we start fixing the bullshit here, Canada? I mean, we were talking a little bit last night in the after show chat about the truckers and, how Justin Trudeau used the emergency powers to like rob their bank accounts and shit and confiscate their vehicles. Crying out loud. Let's fix our own house first before we start worrying about the moon, please. Anyway, 702-957-1037. That's 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link at troubledminds.org. We'll put you on the show. It's as easy as that. We're going to do this in just a second, but we're going to get a quick word from our sponsor, which of course is you. Be right back. More Troubled Minds on the way. Are you digging the show? If so, you can support us quite easily and at no additional cost to you if you already have an Amazon Prime account. Since we stream on Twitch every day, all you have to do is link your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account, and they give you free games on a monthly basis for your personal use, and also a bonus $5 a month to send to your favorite streamer as a way to bring more people to Twitch. And all you have to do is sync up to 2 accounts and click subscribe. Thanks for considering us. All right, welcome back. Let's do it. Let's keep on trucking. Ronald wants to know in the chat, would mooning someone while on the moon be considered illegal? And would we call it earthing instead? And that, my friend, is not only funny, it's also a perfect segue to the next article, which is Popular Science. And this is an unfortunately worded headline, but expect NASA to probe Uranus within the next 10 years. And if you remember third grade, Uranus is how they said it in the third grade. So let's reread this in the third grade voice. Expect NASA to probe Uranus within the next 10 years. Yeah, okay, fantastic. Experts are optimistic about a mission to the ice giant based on the conclusions of an influential report. Look, they do this shit intentionally. Come on, are you kidding me? Like, really? Like, these people think they're being cute. Anyway, the report was published last week by the National Academies of Science, Engineering, and Medicine, which is an independent organization tasked with helping NASA and the National Science Foundation to assess the state of planetary science research and choose goals. A previous report led to 2 of NASA's biggest missions of this decade. Scientists would love to visit every body in the solar system, but there are finite resources, so the report helps direct money towards the projects that will offer the most bang for their buck, says Amy Simon, the vice chair of the report's Giant Planet Systems Panel and planetary scientist at NASA. Anyway, blah, blah. This will be cool. And yeah, there it is. Way too easy, right? This is way too easy. Anyway, so we're going to keep on trucking. What do you guys think? And you guys know the drill. Transparency, all that stuff. You got actual Show feedback. You want to tell me to shut the fuck up, Mike, or whatever, just dial the phone number, 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link. Let's go to cbsnews.com. Yeah, here we go. Google will now remove your phone number and other info from search results. Yeah, sweet. Isn't it amazing that they didn't do this before? All this bullying and doxing and all the crap they talk about online, right? Again, upside down clown world. So here we go. Google said it had previously allowed people to request the removal of some types of info from their search engine, of course, but that the new policy represents a broader attempt to help protect personal data for users. Prior to the new policy, people could ask for more specific information to be removed, such as a bank account or credit card numbers. Yeah, okay, this is fine. The change comes amid a surge in online fraud. The Federal Trade Commission, the FTC, reporting that consumers lost $5.8 billion to scammers last year, not including the government scammers that steal from the lotto, by the way. Remember, what was that, $200 and something million just from this last jackpot? Anyway, a jump of 70% from the previous year. Much of the fraud is perpetrated through online scams such as romance swindles, as well as through telephone solicitations and identity theft. Yeah, there you go. What's up, Derek? These Gen Z kids are out here probing Uranus on the regular, I think. Now we're talking. Google noted that removing the information can also protect people from doxing, which is when personal info like emails or addresses are shared publicly with malicious intent, such as to encourage online harassment. Oh, but remember, the harassment is only harassment if it goes one way, not the other way. You're allowed to harass political dissidents. You're allowed to harass people that are, let's say, I don't know, let's say they're normal people. Normal people you're allowed to harass because, well, they're not protected in one way or the other. So it's totally cool to harass or dox or all the rest of that. It's also fucking stupid. 702-957-1037. Let's keep on trucking. There's tons of news. So I'm going to just burn through these because lots to do, lots to talk about. Let's go to the Washington Compost. Yep. The uproar over the Biden admin's disinformation governance board. Did you guys hear about this? We talk about the Ministry of Truth on Troubled Minds Radio all the time, right? And, well, this is the government doesn't officially have a Ministry of Truth. All right. Now, the Ministry of Truth, of course, is the ministry, the government department in George Orwell's 1984 that is in charge of controlling the flow of information. OK, and they call it the Ministry of Truth because, of course, notice how further and further we're developing more of this 1984 Orwellian sort of system in that we've got fact checkers for everything. But then if you go follow these fact checkers up, you realize that they're just political hacks and just spinning shit and saying, well, you know, from our point of view, this is the truth. Well, really, what is the truth? And that's, again, a fascinating question. I don't presume to have the truth. I don't. And the second part of that is, these guys do. All right. But check this out. Literally, it's called the Disinformation Governance Board. This should be fine. The Department of Homeland Security's decision to announce the creation of a Disinformation Governance Board has set off backlash on the right. Now, look. You notice this is the Washington Post, okay? This is owned by Jeff Bezos, all right? And again, you know, outrage when Elon Musk buys Twitter. And there's all the conspiracies happening. All the you know, quote, conservatives are now gaining followers hand over fist. And a lot of the liberals that have been on there for a long time are now losing followers like crazy. And they're saying it's organic, all right? Well, I think there's some shenanigans afoot and that they're trying to undo all the bullshit that they've done for the past several years. And we'll get to that. And yeah, so look what happens. They're going to have this normalization. It's going to kind of go back to close to how it should have been. And then blah, blah. Anyway, you get the point. But they freak out. My point there was they freak out over Elon Musk buying Twitter because, oh, God, a billionaire controlling all the information. Well, no shit. Jeff Bezos owns the Washington Post. Here we go. Anyway, Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas mentioned the creation of the board in multiple congressional hearings this week. In one, he linked it to efforts to combat misinformation from human smugglers. Oh, Oh, is that all? Okay. In another, he said it would be used to counter Russian cyber and election misinformation. Oh, you mean like Twitter did for the last election? Yeah, that's right. Not Russia. Maybe Russia with a small budget, but Twitter did it. Twitter did it themselves. Quote, we have just established a mis- and disinformation governance board in the Department of Homeland Security to more effectively combat this threat, not only to election security, but to our homeland security. Oh, I see. See, it's always, everything's PR, right? Everything's PR. So nobody knows exactly what this disinformation governance board is going to do, but it certainly sounds like the Ministry of Truth, does it not? I mean, if we're being real here, come on now. Come on, man. Anyway, 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link, troubledminds.org. Let's get back to this. What in the world is going on in the conspiracy circles, I guess? Check this out. USA Today. Wouldn't you believe it? The movement is back. Birds aren't real. Or are they? Here's what you need to know about the viral conspiracy theory. Yeah. Nice. There we go. The theory admits birds were real animals, but U.S. officials forcibly made the entire species extinct in the 20th century, according to the movement's website. And all of these real birds were replaced with surveillance drones. Awesome. Except the birds aren't real movement is different from other conspiracy theories. Though more than 1 million followers have backed the movement, according to 60 Minutes, they know it's a joke aimed at the spread of misinformation. Here's what you need to know about the birds aren't real movement. How did it start? The conspiracy theory powered by Gen Z was started by a man named Peter McIndoe. He told the New York Times last year the movement began at a women's march in Memphis, Tennessee in January of 2017. Counter-protesters supporting former President Donald Trump also attended the event, and when McIndoe saw the group, he wrote, "Birds aren't real" on a poster as a joke. All right. It was a spontaneous joke, quote, this is a quote, but it was a reflection of the absurdity everyone was feeling, he told the Times. He continued to joke about the idea of the conspiracy at the rally, and a video of him went viral on Facebook. The claim spread among teenagers in the area, and McIndoe told the outlet that he and a friend, Connor Gaydos, wrote a fake history of the conspiracy, coming in with more jokes and fake details. All right, and there you go, as USA Today just bounces me off of the damn thing in real time. Okay, in any case, because they want me to hear the Obama speech, right? Okay, in any case, so this is real, right? But you know what's happening? 60 Minutes is about to talk about this. Check this out. 60 Minutes. Listen to this.
More than 1 million people have become followers of a conspiracy theory that birds aren't real. That's right. The birds you think you see flying in the sky are actually government surveillance drones. Sound insane? It's meant to. The birds aren't real movement is thankfully pure satire, intended to mirror some of the absurdity that's taken flight across the country.
Birds aren't real! Birds aren't real!
Okay, there you go. 60 Minutes is going to be covering this, and wouldn't you know it, birds aren't real. Birds aren't real. Come on, chant it with me, guys. Chant it. This isn't cult-like at all. This is fine. This is totally fine. I mean, look, what are you trying to do? I said this before regarding this movement. What are you trying to do? Like, I again, call me old. I don't understand. Like, okay, point made. People will believe absurd things. And you know what's even scarier? There's going to be a portion of that actual movement that believes the bullshit that they're saying, right? And so, right? So misinformation, disinformation from me may be dangerous, right? My takes on the government, taxes and whatnot. Dangerous, right? But then look at this shit. Why aren't they shutting them down? Why aren't they taking them off? I don't, like, it's mind-boggling to me. Whatever, I kind of don't care. It's sort of like, I'm not going to say it, but I think that things like this are literally ops to discredit the conspiracy community, right? The real conspiracy community, meaning people that want to think for themselves, right? That's it. It's a simple thing. And again, a conspiracy theory is exactly that, a theory. All right. A theory's fine. Well, until you profess it's the truth of things. And of course, that's very different. And once you start becoming that, well, you're Tucker Carlson or you're Don Lemon, right? This is exactly what happens. And this is the problem, right? Like I always say on Troubled Minds Radio, truth is a slippery fish. And I'm not even trying to profess any of that. I'm not trying to tell anybody anything's the truth. You decide. It's your reality, not mine, right? I'll handle my reality. You handle yours, okay? And you make those decisions for yourself. That's how I see it. But, right, that notion is dangerous. It's dangerous. What are your thoughts? 702-957-1037. That's 702-957-1037. What's up? Derek says, I absolutely know people that question bird legitimacy. Exactly. Because there's no filter in their damn head. It's absurd. It's the most absurd thing ever. But again, just like that Q movement, right? I think it's an op. I think this stuff is an op. It's pushed to the top of the news cycles, to the top of the zeitgeist by, if it's not Russians or Chinese or some combination, it's the CIA. It's our own, the Ministry of Truth that operates sort of underground in the government, if you know what I mean. Pushing this stuff to the top, in my opinion, so as to discredit people like me, people like us, people out there. I mean, you don't need a lot to discredit Alex Jones. He does it himself, right? But in a lot of these cases, there are what they call truther movements, okay? And again, dangerous, I think, in those terms of like professing the truth as the truth is the truth, and that's it. It's a dangerous notion, and religions do it, the governments do it, the party line. If you go afoul of the truth there are problems, right? There are problems with this. That's why I think the truth is, well, a slippery fish. 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link, troubledminds.org. Birds aren't real. Birds aren't real. We're going to take a quick break and get a word from our sponsor, which, of course, is you. And we'll be right back with more Troubled Minds news. I'm your host, Michael Strange. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Troubled Minds News. I'm your host, Michael Strange. Let's keep on trucking, shall we? There's more here. We'll move on past the birds aren't real. And let's get to honeybees. Honeybees. Adorable little suckers. Gotta love these things. Phys.org. Honeybees join humans as the only known animals that can tell the difference between odd and even numbers. You think that's the case? I'm going to doubt that, but okay. When we may memorize the rule that numbers ending in 1, 3, 5, 7, or 9 are odd, while numbers ending in 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8 are even. We may even divide a number by 2, where any whole number outcome means the number is even. Otherwise, it must be odd, blah, 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 blah. Right? Second grade stuff. Similarly, when dealing with real-world objects, we can use pairing. If we have an unpaired element left over, that means the number of objects was odd. Until now, odd and even categorization, also called parity classification, had never been shown in non-human animals. In a new study published today in the journal Frontiers in Ecology and Evolution, we show honeybees can learn to do this. Parity tasks, parity tasks such as odd and even categorization are considered abstract and high-level numerical concepts in humans. Not really, if we're teaching it in first and second grade. Anyway, interestingly, humans demonstrate accuracy, speed, language, and spatial relationship biases when categorizing numbers as odd or even. For example, we tend to respond faster to even numbers with actions performed by our right hand and to odd numbers with actions performed by our left hand. Okay, we're also faster, more accurate when categorizing numbers as even compared to odd. And research has found children typically associate the word even with right and odd with left. Okay, that's super odd. Yeah, honeybees, definitely fake news, right? These studies suggest that humans may have learned anyway. So studies have shown honeybees can learn to order quantities, perform simple addition and subtraction, match symbols with quantities, and relate size and number concepts. To teach bees a parity task, we separated individuals into two groups. One was trained to associate even numbers with sugar water and odd numbers with a bitter-tasting liquid. The other group was trained to associate odd numbers with sugar water and even numbers with the quinine, I guess. I don't know how you say it, but that's the bitter water. We trained individual bees using comparisons of odd versus even numbers with cards representing 1 to 10 printed shapes until they chose the correct answer with 80% accuracy. There you go. We're playing card games with bees, and this is amazing. What do you think? 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link, troubledminds.org. Now, nerds are near and dear to my heart because I'm a nerd. So here we go. Nerds. You guys are nerds. Nerd cells This is from Neuroscience News. Nerd cells, or super calculating network in the human brain discovered. Ooh. Oh, you don't say. There you go. Are you impressed when NASA manages to calculate the time and speed of a rocket's trajectory? A new study from the University of Oslo shows that your brain has a nerd center capable of even more complex calculations. Oh, okay. Let's see. Blah, blah, blah. Quote, we are the first to clearly establish that the human brain actually contains such nerd cells, or supercalculators, put forth by the CAN theory. We found nerve cells that code for speed, position, and direction all at once, says Bokhara, which is the individual here at the University of Oslo, Charlotte Bokhara. After 5 years of research into the theory of the continuous attractor network, that's the CAN, continuous attractor network, Charlotte Bokhara and her group of scientists at the Institute of Basic Medicinal Sciences at the University of Oslo have made the breakthrough. They analyzed 1,400 nerve cells recorded in rats in a distribution manner across several brain areas. Together with PhD fellow David Spalla and researcher Alessandro Trevis, she recently published an article in Nature Communications titled Angular and Linear Speed Cells in the Parahippocampal circuits. I think that's how you say it. We equipped rats with small brain probes holding very thin electrodes that could read their brain activity. Afterwards, they were free to move around in a maze to search for goodies. We could follow their movements with a camera and thus correlate their actions with the activity of the many nerve cells we were recording from, explains Bokhara. Bokhara's research group used an advanced form of data analysis to thoroughly investigate what was happening in all the cortical layers of several brain areas. This involved a systematic examination of vast data sets. This new research and the continuation of groundbreaking work of John O'Keefe, May Britt, and Edvard Moser, which shows that the individual nerve cells can code for navigation coordinating systems or the brain's GPS. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. Notice what they didn't say in the headline is rats. It says human brain. Notice this? Nerd cells, a supercalculating network in the human brain discovered. So, is it rats or is it people? Just asking. And we already know the answer because Soylent Green is people. 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link at troubledminds.org. We'll put you on the show. Lots of news to get to. Let's keep on trucking. CNBC reports this. Soylent Green is people. Oh, just kidding. They didn't report that. They reported this. Denmark becomes the first country to halt its COVID vaccination program. Oh, you don't say. What's up, Vicky? What's up, APOC? I see you guys. What's going on there? Denmark has become the first country to halt its COVID vaccination program, saying it is doing so because the virus is now under control. Oh, you don't say. Quote, spring has arrived. Vaccine coverage in the Danish population is high, and the epidemic has reversed, the Danish Health Authority said in a statement Wednesday. Continue, quote, therefore, the National Board of Health is now ending the broad vaccination efforts against COVID-19 for this season, it said. People will not be invited for vaccines from May 15th, it said, although everyone will be able to finish their course of vaccination. Oh, okay, that's fine. Denmark's COVID vaccination campaign began soon after Christmas in 2020. Some 4.8 million citizens have been vaccinated, the health authority said, with more than 3.6 million people receiving a booster shot. At the same time, many people have been infected since the Omicron variant became the dominant strain of the virus, it said, meaning immunity levels among the population are high. Bolette Soborg, the unit manager of the National Board of Health, commented, we are in a good place. We have good control of the epidemic, which seems to be subsiding. Admission rates to hospitals are stable, and we also expect them to fall soon. Therefore, we are rounding up the mass vaccination program against COVID-19. Why do they got to use the term rounding up? That's such a negative. Anyway, okay, there you go. Go Denmark. Go Denmark. What's up? What's up, guys? Oh, boy. 702-957-1037. What are your thoughts? Let's keep on trucking. Lots to talk about. Lots of news today. Let's go to futurism. Futurism. Love this stuff. Let's do it. This is scientists say we may be extremely wrong about the universe. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. All right. There you go. Not to alarm anyone, but several scientists are saying we need to revamp our entire understanding of the universe. Instead of a uniformly expanding cosmos that looks more or less the same anywhere you go, some experts are now positing that the whole universe is actually skewed, with profound implications for our understanding of the natural world. Uh-oh. Subir Sarkar, a professor at the University of Oxford, tells New Scientist that he's discovered evidence suggesting that our current understanding of cosmology is broken. Uh-oh. Hey, what's up, Daryl? 3 p.m. Pacific. Always. Sometimes I'm 5 minutes late on Fridays, but, sometimes, you can't be perfect. But yeah, it's 3 p.m. The notifications go out in Discord when this starts, 3 p.m. Pacific time. The idea that the cosmos looks largely the same no matter where you go is called the cosmological principle. And it's been around in some form or another since the 1500s. Now, though, scientists like Sarkar say that our own Milky Way moves through the universe the way it does could be interfering with our understanding of the rest. Sarkar told New Scientist that our relatively small number of known galaxies and the inability to know exactly how far apart they are leaves room to speculate. When a single animal slows down in a large herd, it looks like all the others are running away from it at a fast pace. In much the same way, it's possible that from the Earth, it only seems as if the universe is expanding at a given rate. And by the way, this is an interesting thing here with the cosmology. There's a crisis in cosmology recently, anyway, with the expansion of the universe and a whole lot of weirdness going on with this. Like, again, we thought we knew, and then now we don't. The calculations keep coming up different and wrong with the red shift and the blue. Is it the blue shift? Yeah. I mean, I don't know what's going on with this. This is pretty wild stuff, and that's why, we do maybe juice. We drink the maybe juice because, hey, we can speculate on the nature of the universe just as much as anybody else. What's up? There you go. What's going on, guys? Yep, they're catching up or something, right? What's going on? Let's see. But by what I read about what the universe smells like, I think the universe exists in some giant's bowels. Oh, goodness gracious. Let's hope not. What's up? We're doing our thing, hanging out, talking about the news. If you want to be part of the show, 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link at troubledminds.org. All right, this is from ARS Technica. Oh, yeah. One of my favorites, of course. Let's go here. USPS sued by states and environmental groups over purchase of 8.6 mpg trucks. That's miles per gallon, right? Lawsuit alleges USPS purchase of inefficient vehicles violates environmental law. All right. Now, okay. Now notice the headline. And this is a lesson in propaganda. All right. Notice the headline. ARS Technica, 8.6 mpg trucks. All right. 8.6 miles per gallon. That seems super low, right? Super low. It's like, what is this, like the 1950s? Like, I mean, this looks like a space-age little, like, mail wagon. Why does it only get 8.6 miles per gallon? That doesn't make any damn sense, right? Well, check it out. Let me explain. 8.6 miles per gallon is, well, probably inaccurate. Here we go. The U.S. Postal Service is facing lawsuits from 16 states and several environmental groups challenging its decision to buy tens of thousands of gasoline-powered delivery vehicles instead of electric vehicles, right? I'll give you my hot take afterward. But as previously reported, the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, says the gas-powered trucks being ordered by the USPS are expected to achieve only 8.6 miles per gallon. All right, that's what's a Vicky? The short bus, the short mail bus, right? So they're expected. This is according to the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency. All right, they are, quote, expected to achieve only 8.6 miles per gallon, barely improving over the decades-old long life vehicles that achieve 8.2 miles per gallon. All right, so it's a step up, right? Not very much, but it's a step up in miles per gallon. Okay, if you want efficiency and all the rest of that, but listen to this. The USPS countered that the vehicles get 14.7 miles per gallon when air conditioning isn't being used, and that the truck size will make it possible to deliver the same amount of mail in fewer trips. You see? It's like, wait, so what's the truth? It doesn't seem like the truth is 8.2 miles per gallon. That's in a worst case scenario, probably in Las Vegas when it's 120 frickin' degrees outside, right? There's going to be lots of cooler places in the country where you don't got to pump the air conditioning constantly, and you'll get closer to 14.7 miles per gallon and fewer trips. So So which is true, right? Which is true. It certainly seems that 8.6 miles per gallon is fake. It's a phony thing. It's an environmental racket, all right, is what it is. Let me explain why I say this, right? It's not about the environment, because look, if they want to make steps toward improving the environment and efficiency and the rest of this stuff, this does it, right? This does it. It is one ugly truck. You're right, Ronald. But this does it, doesn't it? I mean, literally almost from 8.2 miles per gallon in the old days to 14.7 at best, all right? At worst, it's still a step up at 8.6 with the air conditioner on. And in many places in the country, you don't need an air conditioner 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, right? Because it's just cooler areas. It's the way it is. You just take the seasons and say 6 months and 6 months. Let's say half the summer, like half of the warm season. So 3 months of the year you're pumping air conditioning, maybe, right? So you tell me. I mean, this is nuts. This is exactly the type of shit why I don't trust anything coming from the government, because they're lying. They're flat out lying. For what, right? You want to make incremental changes and actually improve efficiency and fuel efficiency and all the rest of this? Well, these trucks do it, don't they? They're ugly as sin. It looks like a space age male meet George Jetson sort of shit, right? But the point is, this is a huge step up. But they don't want you to know that, because look, if you read just the headline, which many people do, 8.6 miles per gallon, that was my first thought. What the fuck? This is not 1950 anymore. How the hell are we still rolling 8.6 mile per gallon trucks? That makes no sense. But all you do is read 2 paragraphs down, and they're lying. They're lying. All right. Anyway, the USPS plan is to buy 50,000 to 165,000 vehicles over the course of 10 years. Of those, at least 10% are slated to be battery electric vehicles, so they're buying that, right? Amid controversy, the USPS last month said its initial order of 50,000 trucks for $2.98 billion would include over 10,000 BEVs, which are the electric vehicles, for specific delivery routes that present the best initial application for electric vehicles. All right, fine. But you see, so it's not even about incremental changes for the environment, because this does that. It's about spending that $2.98 billion somewhere else, you see? And this is the thing that pisses me off about this. Do you want it or do you not, right? Do you want incremental changes to help the efficiency, the fuel efficiency, and the carbon emissions and all the rest of the things you say? Or do you just want a cut of that $2.8 billion to buy some electric vehicles, right? You see what's going on? Like, there's something fishy as fuck here, and I do not like it. 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link, troubledminds.org. Love to hear your thoughts. Let's go to this one. There is more. There's always more. Let's go to Universe Today. And, yeah, there we go. Where we at time-wise? Perfect. Yeah, let's do this real quick, and then we'll do a commercial and wrap this up with one more segment. This is from Universe Today. Check this out. In some places, black holes are tearing apart thousands of stars at a time. That sounds so hot. At the heart of the more massive galaxies in the universe, there are supermassive black holes, so powerful that they outshine all the stars and their galactic disks. The core regions of these galaxies are known as active galactic nuclei, but the more popular moniker, quasars. That's what they go by. The ongoing study of these objects has provided a testbed for general relativity and revealed a great deal about the formation and evolution of galaxies and the large-scale structure of the universe. If there's one thing astronomers observed repeatedly, it is the fact that these massive black holes have massive appetites. In fact, a new survey of over 100 galaxies by the NASA Chandra X-ray Observatory has shown that some supermassive black holes can consume stars by the thousands. These results indicate that some supermassive black holes needed to consume amounts of stellar matter rarely, if ever seen in the universe, to grow and reach the size that the astronomers see today. They need to consume massive amounts of stars, and there we go. In any case, I don't know. What do you think? This is fun. I thought it's interesting, and a nice palate cleanser after that EPA lying about the fuel efficiency of the USPS vehicles. What do you think? 702-957-1037. Let's get one more quick word from our sponsor, which of course is you, and we will be right back with more Troubled Minds News. Don't go anywhere. Are you digging the show? If so, you can support us quite easily and at no additional cost to you if you already have an Amazon Prime account. Since we stream on Twitch every day, all you have to do is link your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account, and they give you free games on a monthly basis for your personal use, and also a bonus $5 a month to send to your favorite streamer as a way to bring more people to Twitch. And all you have to do is sync up to 2 accounts and click subscribe. Thanks for considering us. All right, let's keep on trucking. We got more news to get to. Troubled Minds News. I'm Michael Strange. CNET reports this. Mars helicopter snaps dramatic views of rover's battered landing gear. Yeah, now we're talking. Quote, phenomenal and inspiring. Views show a dusty parachute and broken back shell. And there you go. If you're watching the stream, you get a nice picture of litter on Mars that somehow is phenomenal and inspiring. Isn't this great? It looks like litter on Mars. Anyway, landing on Mars is hard. The Perseverance rover came through the experience in style last year, but the equipment that helped deliver it safely to the surface of the red planet faced a rougher fate. New aerial views from NASA's Ingenuity helicopter show the rover's parachute and protective back shell as debris on Mars. Yes. Ingenuity snapped the image series with its color camera during Flight 26 on April 19th. It gives a different perspective of the detritus. Is that what? Let's see, detritus. Yeah, that I don't know what that word is. Than what we saw when the rover captured a recent photo of the site. The large parachute is coated in Martian dust, and the back shell is smashed. And there you go. I just want to point this out that they said that this is phenomenal and inspiring. And if you look, it looks like trash on Mars. it looks like some discarded rubbish. If that's how my good friends in the United Kingdom say garbage, I think, or rubbish, or maybe not. Maybe I'm just stereotyping the fine folks of the UK. But in any case, this looks like trash. This looks like trash on Mars. And literally, the last thing I would use as an example of what to describe this as is phenomenal and inspiring. Because it looks like trash on Mars. Am I right? Rubbish. All right. Rubbish. Perseverance had the best documented Mars landing in history, with cameras showing everything from parachute inflation to touchdown, said JPL's Ian Clark, Mars sample return ascent phase lead, in a NASA JPL statement on Wednesday. But Ingenuity's images offer a different vantage point. If they either reinforce that our system's working as we think they worked, or provide even one data set of engineering information we can use for Mars sample return planning, it will be amazing. And if not, the pictures are still phenomenal and inspiring. I mean, I get that, yeah, going to Mars is a great feat and all the rest of that. But, yeah, this looks like trash on Mars, guys. That's what this looks like. So, yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. I would not use the term phenomenal and inspiring for a trash pile on Mars when people don't even live there yet. Yeah, well, at least we do one thing right, and that's pollute the shit out of the entire solar system. 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link, troubledminds.org. Let's go to the Wall Street Journal. The Wall Street Journal. Gotta love them. The other most trusted source of news. Yep, you got it. FBI conducted potentially millions of searches of Americans' data last year, report says. Oh, this should be fine. Reported from Washington, and of course the Wall Street Journal. The Federal Bureau of Investigation performed potentially millions of searches of American electronic data last year without a warrant, U.S. intelligence officials said Friday, a revelation likely to stoke long-standing concerns in Congress about government surveillance and privacy. Oh, no shit. No shit. An annual report published Friday by the Office of the Director of National Intelligence disclosed that the FBI conducted as many as 3.4 million searches of U.S. data that had been previously collected by the National Security Agency. Senior Biden administration officials said the actual number of searches is likely far lower. Oh. Is it or isn't it? Citing complexities in counting and sorting foreign data from U.S. data. Oh. It could be learned from the report how many Americans' data was examined by the FBI under the program, though officials said it was almost certainly a much smaller number. Oh, okay. Well, give us the number then. Again, like this is like a simple accounting situation. Simple, right? You know how, either you know what you're doing and you know how many things are happening, or you fucking don't, right? It's one or the other. It's not, well, that seems like a big number, but it's probably far less than that. But which is it? Do you know what you're doing or do you not know what you're doing, right? Like if I sell 22 widgets today, or let's say 22 Troubled Minds hats today, I know that I sold 22 Troubled Minds hats today. Not, oh, it might be far lower than that, depending on who's asking, right? No, I know exactly. And there are programs, there are things that handle these things. Come on now. Don't lie to us. Just stop lying to us. Like I said, everything is always PR with these damn people. And that's what pisses me off. At least say, yep, this is unfortunate. We're going to look to reform this. Own the mistake, because no, we shouldn't be doing this shit to people, etc., so on. So, speaking of Troubled Minds hats, hey, troubledfans.com. Check it out. T-shirts, hats, no mugs yet, but they're on the way. Mouse pads, stickers, you got it. Troubledfans.com. You can find Troubled Minds hats and all the other stuff. So please check that out if you want to help support the show. That's the great place to do it. Let's continue, shall we? Let's go to the Scientific American. One of my favorites. One of my other favorites. Yep, there we go. I got your mug right here. What's going on, guys? Darwin was wrong. No. Your facial expressions do not reveal your emotions. All right, that's fine. The emotion AI industry, we've talked about this previously. Courts and child educators are unknowingly relying on a misunderstanding of Darwin's ideas. Oh. Okay, I see. Here you go. Do your facial movements broadcast your emotions to other people? If you think the answer is yes, think again. The question is under contentious debate. Some experts maintain that people around the world make specific, recognizable faces that express certain emotions, such as smiling in happiness, scowling in anger, and gasping with widened eyes in fear. And they point to hundreds of studies that appear to demonstrate that smiles, frowns, and so on are universal facial expressions of emotion. They also often cite Charles Darwin's 1872 book, The Expression of the Emotions in Man and Animals, to support the claim that universal expressions evolved by natural selection. Now look at this. This is wild. Absolutely insane. Yeah. They're using AI data sets to, again, remember when I talked about the lie detector machine, if you guys listen to Troubled Minds Radio and follow every word? It's fucking voodoo. It's intimidation, it's voodoo, and it's unscientific, all right? This is the same shit. They're using a book written in 1872. Sure, fine. Charles Darwin, given a lot of credit for a lot of things. However, a book in 1872 to train our AI algorithms to spot emotional tells on our face. Yeah, this is fine. This is fine, right? This should be fine. Yeah, other scientists point to a mountain of counter-evidence showing that facial movements during emotions vary too widely to be universal beacons of emotional meaning. People may smile in hatred when plotting their enemy's downfall and scowl in delight when they hear a bad pun. Yep, and that's true. Now, no. This is social credit. This is, again, the whole point of people being individuals is not everybody's the same. Not everybody's the same. And that's the thing here. They want to lump everybody into the categorization of the same. And basically, the categorization, in my opinion, is the controllable and the uncontrollable, right? I think that's what they're trying to actually sort out, right? It has nothing to do with this facial recognition stuff. And if Michael Strange, his eyes pop out of his head and he goes, he's exasperated, or he's excited, or he's whatever the term is, right? They want to be able to, but you see, you can do things in jest. You can make faces sort of sarcastically. There's all kinds of things, and these things happen sort of involuntarily at times even. So how the hell can you actually determine which is which? And that's a problem, right? That's a problem. What's up? Joker laughed when he was stressed or in pain, right? Exactly. Yeah. So again, they're gonna. This is part of that social credit, and it's a bunch of BS. And thank you, but no thank you. Scientific American. You can stuff it where the sun doesn't shine. Let's go to this. Let's go to Fox Business, the other most trusted source of news. Elon Musk tweets meme about America's political polarization as the left goes farther left. Now, right? This is, of course, all over Twitter. Everybody's up in a hizzy about it. They're like, right? The second you try and say anything lefty, righty, people just lose their fucking minds. The Tesla CEO has described himself as politically moderate in the past. Listen, Elon Musk's $44 billion bid for Twitter was recently accepted, tweeted on his new platform a meme about polarization in American politics on Thursday, suggesting that his views haven't changed, but the left has become more extreme. And to me, this is true, right? This is true. Like I said, many of you know, I was a registered Democrat my entire life. I just unregistered from the Democrat Party because they are losing their fucking mind, right? And that's that. Like, again, there's nuance and there's worthy of discussion, and politics suck and all the rest of this. Exactly. And James called it out, exactly what I was going to talk about next, on his new platform, right? Literally, nothing on Twitter has changed specifically, like I was saying earlier in the show, because this deal doesn't go through till next fall. All right. So you tell me, how is it his new platform when the only thing changing is they're burning the documents so that when he does eventually take over, they won't be implicated in the bullshit shenanigans they've been up to for years. That's what's changing right now. And all the conspiracy theorists on the left, right? Because there are different conspiracy theorists politically in the spectrums, right? Now, this is the craziest part. They're like, oh, Elon Musk is already changing everything on Twitter because all the conservatives are gaining all these followers and all the liberals are losing followers. Oh, really? What if they're just undoing the bullshit that they did, right? Because they don't want to get caught. When those internal audits come, they don't want to get caught. So they're reversing all the shit. They're deleting all the data of the bullshit that they've done. And look what's happening. Everything's reversing in huge chunks, right? Like tens of thousands of people per day on particular Twitter accounts, right? For instance, now Tucker Carlson, I think he's a douchebag. Pure and simple, all right? That's my opinion on the guy, all right? Propagandists, agitating people for no damn good reason other than to stoke up their primal instincts and of hating people, right? That's what Tucker Carlson does, in my opinion. But his Twitter account, right, as a case in point, lost 10 followers, all right, previously in a day. And then whatever happened, and then suddenly he's gaining like 50,000 followers every single day now, or something ridiculous like this. So literally, like, you can't account for a disparity in data like that, in users, in activity on a platform, and call it organic like they're calling it. They're removing the bullshit that they've had up for a long time, because that's my opinion. Hey, prove me wrong, because they're gonna bury this shit, and they're gonna say nope. This is all because, right, like Cenk Uygur, by the way, you guys know him of the Young Turks, right? Propagandist asshole. This guy, like, he is one of the worst, in my opinion, right? And he was saying, oh, look, now everybody, all the right-wingers are coming out of the woodwork, and Elon Musk has already flipped the switch, and it's the opposite of what it was. No. They're undoing what they did. That's all that's happening. Elon Musk hasn't touched a thing because the deal hasn't finished yet. So explain to me what's actually happening. In any case, look at this. And I agree with this notion right here that is pissing everybody off. Elon Musk tweets the meme. All right, here's your meme. There you go. Here's my fellow liberal on the left, me, left of center, conservative on the right. This is 2008. 2012, right? Me, closer to the center because the left is running left, okay? My fellow liberal. And then, of course, in 2021, me is now right of center, and this is a meme. I'm not saying me, it's me and the meme. And now the woke progressive left is on the far, far, far left, stretched the paradigm out, and is now calling me a bigot. And so again, and you're like, oh, this can't be true. This is not a real thing. This is, well, if you go to actual the Pew, what do they call them? Hold on, I got it. Pew Research Center. That's what I thought it was. It didn't sound right when I thought it. But look, this is by Paul Graham posted this. United States political attitudes by party leaning, and this is again by Pew Research, right? Which is again does nothing but polls and shit. And I'm not saying they're always right or they're always wrong. I'm saying that's all they do is polls. So they did do a poll. 1994, they've got the Democrat and Republican. You can see the left and the right. 2004, it's diverging and the left is moving further left. And by 2017, there's this huge chasm in the middle, a huge divide. And again, this is sourced from theeconomist.com and the Pew Research Center. So, right? Is Elon right? Is Elon wrong? I think he's correct. And I think this is part of the reason why a lot of people have lost their taste for the Democrat Party. And again, like I said, what's right and what's wrong, I don't even fucking know. You decide for yourself. You handle your reality and I'll handle mine. Okay? It's simple. It's simple. I don't want you to believe in my reality. I want you to hear what I have to say, in my opinion, just like I want to hear your opinion as well. 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link, troubleminds.org. And, we're done, actually. We are done. They're covering their Uranuses. Exactly. What's up? Vicky says, we will just say we are independents, not Democrats. And that's what I am now. I'm definitely an independent, and that's for absolute truth. All right. So that's that, right? It's a wrap. That's a Troubled Minds news for you. Happy Friday, guys. As always, right? Thanks for being part of this. Thanks for all the enthusiasm for the show. Thanks for supporting me and the endeavors here, and for supporting the community and being kind to each other out there. It's such a critical thing for me that this doesn't have to be BS all the time. It just doesn't have to be BS all the time. We can be chill and cool and disagree and still be friends tomorrow. That's how I see it, and I believe that. So, hey, thanks for being here. Thanks for spending your time and your energy. It's really, really important to me. And like I always say, when there's 10 million other things you could be doing, you're here. You're here with me. You're here with us. And thank you so much for that. If you want to help the show, there are a few ways. You can sub up right here on Twitch, again, through Amazon Prime at no additional cost. Or you could do it directly with good old-fashioned greenbacks, which are worth less and less these days, as you know. Or you could do Rockfin or, of course, Patreon. If you like the show but don't want to spend money on it or can't spend money on it, I completely understand. You can help the show by spreading the word or listening to the podcast feed, Spotify, iTunes, wherever you get your actual podcasts. It's completely free, and those episodes are monetized, and you can go there and just listen to an old show. There's nearly 400 up there on the podcast feed now, and more going up every single day. So if you've only been listening for 6 months or something, there are years of interesting things back there. So please go check out some of the old shows, and if you never met Frank, the original co-host, go back to the beginning. The very first episode of Troubled Minds is on that feed, and you can see, right? You can see the progression. The reason I left those old episodes up is I want you to see the progression of where we come, where hard work gets you, where time and pressure and all the rest of this. Go back and see. I was never a pro at this until I worked very hard and had a lot of practice, okay? And now maybe I'm almost pro, semi-pro conspiracy theorist, right? So go back and check the very first episode. Frank's on there. We're talking about conspiracy theories and Julius Caesar and all kinds of fun stuff. So there we go. As we finish, thank you so much for being part of this. Have a fantastic weekend, guys. We'll have a show probably tomorrow. Boop, boop. If you waited this long, boop, boop. Maybe we'll have a show tomorrow. I think we have a show scheduled for tomorrow night as part of the Patreon and all the rest of that. And it's the World Upside Down version of Clown News, Clown World News, and of course the Upside Down of the Upside Down, which means we're going to do the answer show and not the question show. So that'll be coming tomorrow night at the regular scheduled time at 7 p.m. So we'll see you then. And you could expect an appearance from my good friend James Salcedo of Salcedo Paranormal. He's committed to being there, and love to have you guys as well. And the Upside Down of the Upside Down. It's not the question show. It is now the answer show. We'll see you guys tomorrow night. Have a fantastic weekend. Thanks again for being you. Thanks again for being great. Michael Strange, out.